Welcome to SocksOutRacing. We cover round 5 of the V8 SuperTrucks series at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park on April 23rd and 24th, 2016. Now, Saturday's practice was again cool thanks to the morning light with an ambient temperature of 79, but the track temperature was 81, which is a little bit tackier, which is great considering the high-speed nature of this course. When Sunday came around, though, the temperature dropped, but the skies cleared out, which kept the track temperature about the same. Plus, there was a south wind at 12 miles an hour, which will really amplify the draft as drivers head down the Mario Andretti straight. Strength of field for the race was 36.20, and pole position for the first time was Christian Chandler with a 1:17.922. Now, one thing to keep in mind, on Saturday's practice, Carl Martin ran a 1:17.925. So we were really excited to see these two battle it out. Unfortunately, Martin was unable to join us for the race on Sunday, which we knew would really change the dynamics of the front of the field in this race. As drivers get ready to go, as we go green, a lot of anticipation for cautions this week because drivers knew this is a fast track, this is a demanding circuit, and one misstep can cause a lot of mayhem. As we see Syandra really going brave as we go through turn 2, going side by side with Krudolf and a couple other drivers behind doing the same. No one's pulling any punches as we get this race underway. You can see Sy running a little bit wide in 3. As we head down to turn 4, you see Cockrell getting a bit sideways, and they head down towards Moss. Cockrell on the inside hits the curb, gets a nasty hop, split by Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak, both of which are newcomers to the series representing Oval. So these guys are going to be interesting to watch as the race progresses. You see Scott Johnson and Bart Workman fighting out a little bit behind that battle, but everybody's starting to get kind of filed out as we head down the Mario Andretti straight for the first time. And it seems everything is going well, but on lap 2, Mika Eshaus runs wide, almost catching the tire wall. You can see how close he got. I mean, fantastic driving to save the truck, but not in a place you really want to be at the early stages of the race. Thankfully, he's able to get the truck back underneath him and get rolling before he gets caught up in the battles behind him. So a little bit of a good thing that the leaders had distanced themselves from the rest of the field because it let that mistake not be as drastic as it could have been. As we sit here and we go through Moss again, you see Syandra run wide. It seems like he's having a little trouble with entry. But Jimmy Mullis tries to capitalize on that, but not quite able to get on the throttle. As we head down the Mario Andretti straight, a lap later, you see Zach Novak going to the outside of Mullis as they barrel down towards the S's too wide. They're getting really close. Now this is a great place to set up a play. It's a right, left, right, but it really relies, if you're using the outside line on the first turn, to get the door closed before the final turn. And Novak is not quite able to do it, nor is he able to keep the momentum to take the play, so as we enter lap 4, Mullis hangs on to it. Cockrell, who had that bobble in lap 1, is still chasing them down. So this is actually a 3-way battle for 6th. As we head down through turn 2, you just see the trucks getting real close. You see Workman and Johnson battling it out behind. So a lot of action midfield. Novak slightly off in the grass. Cockrell capitalizing on the mistake is going to put them side by side, and Cockrell closes the door as they head through turn 4. Lap 6, the battle continues. You got Mullis and Cockrell. Cockrell has got more experience in these trucks in this type of racing than Mullis and Novak, and that experience shows right here. As they approach the S's, Cockrell looks to the inside, figures out where he's going to make his move. Sees Mullis is a little late on the entry, takes advantage of it, holds the line, gets underneath, and just leaves Mullis as they come through the final corners. Lap 9, we got an interesting battle for 11th as Stowe tries to make a play on Davis, but gets a little bit into the rear quarter panel of the 82 machine. And thankfully that doesn't leave any damage, doesn't cause a caution, but Davis is a little off his rhythm coming through 2, and that makes him go off track. Thankfully he's able to gather the truck up and rejoin the field. Now, Josh Mertz started the race with no practice and was really rough in the early stages, but as the race goes on, the practice in other rounds really started to pay off and he started to gain back some position. Now, remember when Mika ran off in lap 2? Well, it's taken until we get to the start of lap 11 to make a play to take back that position as he chases down Justin Krudolph. Now, the one thing always going through your mind when you're coming through turn 2 is trust. Do I trust the other driver to make a play here? And sometimes the best thing to do turn 2 is actually a crossover, which we saw Mika attempt but not quite close the door. You see, we go through turn 3, Mika's trying the outside line, work in the back of the truck, something that Mika does quite well. We saw it do him very well at Okayama at the beginning of the series. Now we go through Moss. Krudolph runs wide, hits the dirt. He's trying to keep it off the wall, but that mistake was enough to let Mika by, which will give Mika back second place, and Mika will continue to run with it. Lap 10, battle for 7th. Mullis runs into similar troubles, and then Novak capitalizes on the opportunity, takes the inside, and they run 2 wide again down the Mario Andretti straight. Now this time Novak's got a bit more of a run, and I think he learned a little bit from Cockrell to set up on the inside. But things go wrong on lap 11. Both of them miss their entry point into 2 and hit the wall hard, claiming. So as we go to lap 22, Johnson and Workman have been battling it off and on, and this is a 4-lap battle for 7th. And Workman loses the back end of the truck, hits the tire wall, not quite crippling the truck, but definitely going to leave him going in for some repairs. Late in the race, that's going to end up costing him and dropping him down to 11th. But when the dust settled, it is Christian Chandler that pulls the hat trick this weekend and takes the win, followed by Mika Eshaus taking in 2nd, and Justin Krudolph returning to the podium with 3rd. Now this was an interesting track, as this was the first race of the season that did not have a full course caution, despite many drivers anticipating one. This is also the first time we have seen Christian Chandler take the race maximum of 40 points. So this is really going to shake up the championship points. Now as we look towards Road versus Oval, Road again takes the top 2 spots, which is going to further extend their lead over Oval with 190 compared to Oval's 168. Now looking over at the Drivers' Championship, we said it was going to get mixed up. Now with the second drop round factored in, we see Christian Chandler and Mika Eshaus tied for the lead. Then we have a point gap between 3rd and 4th of Carl Martin and Justin Krudolph, with Sai Andra moving up to 5th place just behind. So with the points tight, expect to see some very intense battles as we head to round 6 at Watkins Glen International for May 7th and 8th, 2016. As always, Saturday's practice will be open at 1600 GMT, and Sunday's race day events will start at 1800 GMT. Now this race is going to have an extra bit of excitement to it, and that is because if you like us on Facebook, you are already aware, but for those who haven't, proud to announce that round 6 will be presented by Global Sim Racing Channel, GSRC, and even if you have liked us on Facebook, the one thing you haven't seen yet is that it's also going to be simulcast on iRacing Live on May 8th, 2016, starting at 1845 GMT. We're unbelievably excited about this opportunity. Please show your support and tune in via one of the live streams. We would be really appreciative of it. After all, if it weren't for you guys tuning in and our drivers and our teams that are participating in the series, we would not be where we are today. So a big thank you to you guys for making this happen. So until next time, keep it between the lines.